The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Kiwi.
Well, the country's best engineers, producers and album cover artists are set to be honoured on September the 1st when the 3 technical awards will be presented for the Vodafone New Zealand Music Awards. They kind of do this as a wee prequel to the big ceremony that happens in October. The best album cover, Main's best engineer and Main's best producer. The finalists in the best album cover are Paul Johnson for Buffalo, that's the Phoenix Foundation, Rebecca Atkins and Mikey Tucker, Anita Liu, and Kieran Reinhardt for A Story, Fly My Pretties, and Ryan Marks for Everything by P Money. In the Main's Best Engineer category, the finalists are Andre Upston for Magnetic, that's Miriam Clancy's album. Phoenix Foundation has Lee Prebble for Buffalo, Lee Prebble for A Story, and that's the Fly My Pretties album. Finalists for Main's Best Producer are Jeremy Toy for Standing in the Rain by the Open Souls, Lee Prebble and Barnaby Ware for A Story by Fly My Pretties, and the Phoenix Foundation for Buffalo. The Phoenix Foundation, of course, the producers on that one. Well, there was one name that popped up just more than a few occasions. It was Lee Prebble in a couple of categories there, and he is my guest finalist on the show this morning. Good morning to you, Lee.
Morning, Wammo. How are you?
Good. Congratulations on the nominations.
Thank you very much. It's very nice.
You've got to say you're odds-on favourite right now.
Yeah. It'd be nice to win at least one.
And of course, this wouldn't be your first TUI, though, would it?
No, I won 2 years ago for Phoenix Foundation's last album. I got Best Producer and Engineer for their album Happy Ending.
So it's definitely not a fluke.
No. Well, there's a lot of hard work goes into those Phoenix Foundation albums, so it's nice that they get a little bit of recognition.
Is it the fact that they drive you hard? They expect the best.
Yeah, they definitely do drive me hard. I think we work well in that we both end up pushing each other, in both directions. And I find that Phoenix Foundation albums are the ones that I enjoy the most and hate the most. but the enjoyment wins overall.
Yeah. Tell us what is the difference between being an engineer and being a producer?
Basically, an engineer is the person that pushes all the buttons and does the technical side of things, and the producer is more in the artistic control of things, so helping to choose what take of a song is the best and thinking about what arrangements might be nice for a song. So it's more the the musical aspect of it, I guess.
Does the producer boss the engineer around?
Sometimes, yeah. So it's quite good when I'm doing both, because then I can just boss myself around.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah.
Skits, one could say. Okay, so there's a couple of albums there. Buffalo, obviously, with the Phoenix Foundation, and also A Story by Fly My Pretties, which, of course, is a project that you've been very closely related to since its inception. Yeah,
this is the third Fly My Pretties that's been made and that I've been involved with.
Yeah.
And, they're always recorded live at the shows, and then we choose which take from which night is the best one and then compile it all together into the one album.
So as an engineer, what are you trying to get the best, biggest sound out of a recording?
When recording like the Fly My Pretties, it's all about just getting everything as clean as possible and making sure that there's no extraneous noises and that everything is captured as best as you can, I guess. And then trying to make it sound live, but not live in a that's kind of all right because it's live, but it's still got to stack up against studio-produced albums, so it's still got to sound big and large and impressive.
And having worked on these Phoenix Foundation albums, and the latest one, Buffalo, I mean, what is one reason that you keep on going back to these guys, or they keep on going to you, is because is it a fun atmosphere at the time?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of fun, and I love the way they work and the kind of sounds that they like to create, and I like their songwriting, and they're great friends as well, and we do a lot of work together rather than just the albums. We've done a few film soundtracks together, and I've worked on a lot of their solo projects as well, and we're just good friends is what it basically comes down to.
Yeah. So the atmosphere is it's not tense in the studio or anything like that.
Oh, you get some tense moments for sure, but you just got to remember that music is close to a lot of people's hearts, and you're dealing with a lot of emotions when you're dealing with a song that someone's written. Although
they've been good buddies, though, does that make the business side of things a little bit more awkward? Like, or do they say, can we do this on the cheap? Can we have the studio time? This hour here, this hour there.
Yeah, we just got to be straight up and right from the start, I guess. And know how much the budget is, and they know how much I'd like to charge and how much I can get away with charging sometimes. So it just depends on the project, really. Yeah.
And because you've got your own studio called The Surgery.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And there's a great website, surgerystudios.co.nz. Tell us about the setup of that. I mean, what does it look like, and what sort of equipment do you have in there?
I've got quite a mixture of analogue and digital equipment. So it's quite a homely sort of place. It's not a big flash-looking place. So I don't know, lots of lamps and chairs sitting around, odd-matched chairs and so forth. Lots of brown.
Yeah. It's almost like someone's living room.
A little bit, yeah. Because it's important to create a relaxed atmosphere. You don't want people being tense when they're trying to record a song. You want them to feel like they can give it everything, really. But
does the word surgery describe your method about going about making music?
Yeah, well, that kind of started out very on when I started doing this, and I was working on a Trinity Roots album, and I came in and fixed something for them, and they were like, "Oh, you're the doctor," or something like that, So that's how that name came about. And then when I was trying to think of a name for the studio, someone was like, "Oh, why don't you call it the Doctor's Surgery or something like that?" And I was like, "Oh, well, let's just call it the Surgery." It just kind of came about. And coming up with a name is really hard. It's hard coming up with a band name or a name for anything. So when someone sort of suggests a name that works, you're like, "Yep, sweet, let's run with that."
So if I was to go in there and record an album and say, "Look, Lee, I like to do things differently. I like the engineer and producer to be blindfolded," you'd be able to find your way around, plug things in, unplug them.
I probably would, actually. Yeah. I've spent that much time in there.
Yeah. Are you quite precious about some of the equipment as well?
Some of it, yep. I've been collecting for a lot of years, and a lot of it is they're my babies.
So there's some out of bounds stuff. Don't touch that.
No, not really out of bounds, but just some bits of equipment require you to be a bit more careful than others, I guess.
I'm terrible at coiling things back up again, cords and stuff. They end up over time they get twisted and stuff. I know there's a knack to that. So
yeah,
imagine
that'd be your first lesson when you came in, I'd say, is how to coil them properly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Gaffing, everything gaffed down.
A little bit. Yep.
People aren't tripping over stuff?
No, try not to. I mean, you do end up with a lot of cables running all over the place, so tripping up is inevitable sometimes.
Good. I think it was important in this interview that we got as technical as we possibly could without being too geeky.
Yeah, because I could have gone a lot geekier.
I know, because this is the technical awards categories at the Vodafone New Zealand Music Awards. Well, all the best for the September the 1st.
Yeah.
In your category, Best Engineer and Main's Best Producer as well. Lee Prebble, thanks so much for your time.
Cheers, Wammo.
We're going to hear something from the Fly My Pretties album. It is the title track, Buffalo. Here we go.